there's been an interesting shift in Turkish foreign policy regarding Syria, and again, I take this for at face value, but although Erdogan is saying he wants to like invade more of Syria and take he wants to go 30 kilometers deep for his perimeter, right? And remember, Turkey's already inside of Idlib, but he wants to go further into northern Syria. And at the same time, though, he is trying to he's attempting a détente with Syria, right? So what do I mean by that? For the last 10 years, Turkey's basically allowed all these weapons and terrorists to come through the border and go fight inside Syria. They turned a blind eye to it. They've bought oil that's been stolen and taken from oil fields by armed groups. And now, and at one point he was openly saying like Assad has to go. Okay, fine, whatever. There's the Assad curse. Anyone who says that phrase ends up getting kicked out of office or leaving office. So I don't know if he's fallen victim to that yet. No, not yet. But anyway, even though he said that at one point, now through back channels, so not directly, but through back channels, they're attempting some sort of détente. And it was interesting because just recently you had, I think it was in Kazakhstan, there was a nice get together there, and I don't think he wanted to say this publicly, too much, but basically he's now okay with meeting with Bashar al-Assad. Now, I don't know what the response is or the position is from the Syrian side. I don't think they're too eager to welcome him, because they're waiting to see what he does with this mini invasion of his. I don't know if it should call me mini. It's just that he wants to grab more land. So I think they're waiting to see what he does in terms of that and NATO, because you have to remember these things are connected to Sweden and Finland's NATO membership bid. Again, we've gone through this together many times, but basically Turkey's position is let's get as many concessions as we can before we allow Sweden and Finland to join NATO. And one of those things is like arms embargo being lifted, PKK members being extradited. And I'm sure Syria is going to come into play, because you have to consider the UN corridors. This is always a big dispute at the UN. And then also this security zone that he talks about, his invasion that he's been threatening. He wants to see how far he can go with this, internationally. So I think that's the Syrian position. But obviously it would be good if things are calmed, because if Turkey would stop basically leaving its border wide open, like I was just mentioning, with the weapons coming in, the fighters coming in, anyone who just wanted to come into Syria illegally would just go through Turkey. It would help a lot. And you have to keep in mind also there's the Russians who are there, and they have an agreement on how to patrol the perimeter, and how many bases that Turkey can have. When I say bases, I mean like small military installations. The Syrian position, they don't agree with that. Their position is that Turkey should get out completely. Russia is involved, so they have to manage that as well. So there's some talk of like détente, but I don't know. It could easily just disappear tomorrow morning. So I didn't want to say too much about it. I'll just fill you in as things progress. Let me show you just quickly here. This is January 5th. And this is what Erdogan said. He said he may meet Syria's Assad for peace in the region, right? So he says he could hold talks with the Syrian leader within a new process launched in Moscow last week. Okay, that's great. All for diplomacy. But let's see what happens. All right.